Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Baxter Student Ambassador Program webinar. Presenting for us today is Julie Perrett, one of our BSAP finalists from Red River College. Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, David. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So just before we get started, I'd like to let everyone know that if you're viewing today's webinar on the computer, if you have any questions during the presentation itself, just type them into the Q&A box or the chat box, which are both found in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered after the presentation has finished. Okay, Julie, since you're already sharing your screen and we can see your presentation, you can start whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So hello, thank you for coming to my presentation today. I'm very honored to have been chosen as a candidate for the Baxter Student Ambassador Award. My name is Julie Perrett, and I'm a second-year tourism management student at Red River College. Today I'll be talking to you about Israel. So we'll begin by going over a general overview of the country, followed by how to get there, where to stay, who's going, what to do, and the benefits of traveling as a group. So first we'll go over an overview. So Israel is a fairly small country. It's only about 475 kilometers from north to south. For a size comparison, Nova Scotia Island is 505 kilometers long. It shares its borders with 4 different countries, which are Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt, as well as the Mediterranean Sea. The Sea of Galilee, the Dead Sea, and the Red Sea are also notable waterways within Israel. Israel's climate is very hot and can be a humid heat closer to the Mediterranean coast, similar to that of Miami. Down in the Negev Desert, it's very dry, so temperatures can be a lot hotter there. Israel experiences almost 360 days of sun a year, which make it a year-round destination for travelers looking for a fun beach vacation. With events happening at all times of the year, there's always something going on. The monetary value of Israel is the new Israeli shekel, which $1 is equal to 3.6 NIS. The currency can be exchanged before traveling through a bank or at a currency exchange agency. The high season for travel in Israel are the months of July, September. They also see an influx of travelers during the biblical sites on holidays such as Good Friday, Easter, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, and other holy holidays because of the fair weather of the lake. It can also be busy through February and March as well. One other feature about traveling to Israel is that most people speak English, which makes it an attractive destination for Canadians since it's easy for them to communicate and to get around. For visas, for Canadian citizens, they only need a passport that's valid for the next 6 months from the day that you arrive. Visas will be issued once you arrive in the country. As long as Canadians are exercising the same degree of care as they would in any other European city, there are no safety concerns when traveling to Israel. Since I'm based in Winnipeg, there are no direct flights from Israel via Winnipeg, but from other major airports in Canada, such as Toronto, Halifax, and Montreal, you can fly directly via Air Canada or El Al Israel Airlines. You can fly directly on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays via Air Canada from Toronto, Montreal, and Halifax to Tel Aviv. Via Air Al Israel Airlines, you can fly out of Toronto, Montreal, and Halifax on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, as well as Saturdays from Montreal. Other airlines also travel to Israel via Europe, which are LOT Polish Airways, American Airlines, Turkish Airlines, and Lufthansa Air. Those also all fly to Tel Aviv. The airline of choice is El Al Israel Airlines, based on their security features, which ensure safety on their flights. These are their intense passenger interviews, armed marshals on every flight, and steel cockpit doors. These measurements have led to no hijackings in the airline's history, and since its founding in 1948, no El Al passenger jets have ever crashed. Next, I'll talk about accommodations. So on the Israel tourism website, you're able to sort hostels and hotels by their location, ability to serve kosher food, Wi-Fi connection, and access to swimming pools. The hotels in Israel follow the European star ranking of hotel stars, allowing tourists to also sort their hotels by star rankings, which helps them find the best hotel for them. Hostels are also prevalent in Israel with the Israel Youth Hostels and the Israel Youth Hostel Association. Those are two big agencies which have hostels located in Israel and are available for low budget and youth travelers. Zimmers are independently owned bed and breakfasts. These have 3 different ratings in Israel that relate to the space available per guest, the amount of privacy, and the amenities available. Camping and field camping are also available for travelers and are located close to nature reserves and national parks. 2 unique accommodations for Israel include the Christian Information Center accommodations, which were initially set up for pilgrims, but have been transformed to accommodations suitable for people of any faith, and are mainly located in the holy cities of Bethlehem, Nazareth, and Jerusalem. The kibbutz package is a unique accommodation in Israel. The kibbutz package and country lodgings allow travelers to immerse themselves and experience the kibbutz way of life, which is centered around agriculture and giving back to the community. Each member of the community has a different job to do, and visitors get to experience this firsthand. They'll also have a chance to participate in the activities if they wish. These lodgings are located close to historical points of interest, and travelers can expect the same services as at a mid-range hotel. If I were to travel to Israel, I'd be interested in staying in a Zimmer or a kibbutz country lodging based on the ability to stay with locals. Next, we'll talk about some target markets. Based on the Destination Canada Explorer Quotient, I determined these 4 target markets are the main travelers that tour agents can target for people traveling to Israel. I'll also discuss some niche markets on the next slide. So cultural explorers want to immerse themselves in the local culture, which includes interacting with local people, visiting historic places, and tasting local foods. These travelers are likely to visit local cultural sites, museums, and want to see everything the destination has to offer. Personal history explorers. These travelers are visiting Israel to gain a deeper understanding of their own history and heritage. They're likely traveling as part of a group, as they're more comfortable staying in a branded hotel where they feel more secure. These travelers will want to visit museums and learn about their past. They'll want to visit local restaurants to taste traditional foods and main attractions, as well as stores so they can bring home souvenirs for themselves and their family members. Authentic experiencers, which this would be my category if I was to travel to Israel. These travelers appreciate and understand the beauty of the natural and cultural environments of the destination. These travelers are interested in seeing as many World Heritage sites that Israel has to offer, like the Tel Aviv Bauhaus architecture or the city of Acco, both UNESCO World Heritage sites, as well as the many nature reserves, natural parks, or even they can be found hiking the Israel National Trail, which connects Mount Hermon to Eilat. Some niche markets visiting Israel are the adventure, culinary, and spiritual/religious travelers. So the adventure travelers are going to Israel to experience the Negev desert, where they have the opportunity to ride a horse or camel through the desert, or even go sandboarding on a sand dune. Eilat also offers travelers the opportunity to try windsurfing and kite surfing, as well as scuba diving in the Red Sea. This is great for people craving adventure. There's also, for culinary, the culinary scenes in Tel Aviv, which is quickly becoming a food destination and attracting some of the most revered chefs in the world. At Red River, we have a great culinary program, and some of the chefs have told me that they want to go to Israel once they graduate, which is a great selling feature as well. There's over 4,000 food and drink establishments available in the city, meaning that there's something for everybody. Spiritual and religious travelers are a big target market for Israel, as it's known as the Holy Land and the home of Jesus. It's also no surprise that travelers are flocking to Jerusalem, which is known as the city of 3 religions, as Christianity, Islamic, and Judaism are all present in the history and the current makeup of the city. There's also the famous cities of Bethlehem, Nazareth, and Jerusalem, and the Wailing Wall and the relics of Masada, which are important religious symbols and are still being visited today. Next, we'll talk about some of the attractions. by region, so we'll start in Jerusalem. The Western Wall is a big attraction for people of the Jewish faith. The original temple was built by King Herod and the second temple was destroyed in 70 BCE. People of all faiths visit the wall to pray and leave messages on tiny notes of paper they believe will be taken to God. The all-sensory markets are another attraction for visitors. The Mashan Yedin market is a widely recognized symbol of Jerusalem. Locals see it as a place that represents them and their unique identity in a larger context. This market allows travelers to see traditional produce, spices, and shopping centers, as well as traditional entertainment. The Tower of David is a medieval fortress located near the Jaffa Gate, marking the traditional entrance into the old city of Jerusalem. It's been refurbished so that every ancient room showcases a different period of the country's history and opens onto a patio revealing breathtaking views of the citadel's courtyard. Yad Vashem is the Holocaust Remembrance and Education Center. It was founded in 1953 and it was an important project for the young nation of Israel. It has since been reopened in 2005 and is very powerful. The key exhibits are the Hall of Names, the Hall of Remembrance, the Memorial to the Deportees, and the Avenue of the Righteous. Bethlehem and the holy sites on the West Bank are also popular for tourists traveling to the area of Jerusalem based on their proximity. Next, we'll look at Eilat, a year-round sun and fun destination. So in Eilat in the Negev, you're able to go snorkeling in the Red Sea, as well as relax on the sunny beaches of Eilat, which experience 360 days of sun a year, making it the perfect destination for travelers looking for sun and fun year-round. Other water sports include windsurfing, kite surfing, and stand-up paddleboarding. These activities are also available to be done on the Red Sea. The Negev offers a unique desert environment for travelers exploring the area. They're able to hike, ride a camel or a horse through the legendary desert. They can also visit Matesh Raman, a famous 40-kilometer-long natural erosion crater. While in the desert, they can also head over to Jordan and see the pink stone city of Petra. Next, we'll talk about Tel Aviv. So Tel Aviv has, like we've talked about, has a very lively culinary scene. So Tel Aviv has some of the healthiest fast food in the world, and it's always served with a fresh Arabic salad, which you can see here served in a dragon fruit bowl. The bar scene is also thriving in Tel Aviv. So there's over 4,000 restaurants, like we've mentioned. Tel Aviv has also been named one of the top destinations for fast food by the International Drinks magazine, with the Imperial Bar being voted one of the world's 50 best bars. There's also a thriving cultural scene in Tel Aviv. The theaters regularly show plays in English or with subtitles for non-Hebrew speakers, making it an accessible entertainment option for travelers. There are also art galleries available for travelers to see if they're looking for a more cultural experience. The all-sensory markets are also popular in Tel Aviv, the Caramel Market and the Mashalant Binyami Market, which is the oldest in Israel, established in 1988 and one of the nicest in the world. Both markets are home to artisans as well as spices, rugs, sweets, and handmade jewelry. You can also find one-off cotton designer clothes here in these locations as well. Tel Aviv is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site based on its Bauhaus architecture, which you can see here, which has also named it, or which has also helped it get the nickname the White City, as most of the buildings are with white stone. So next we'll talk about the Dead Sea, which is the lowest point on Earth and has a salinity level of 31%, which is why tourists are able to take this iconic newspaper photo. So they're able to float like that, even if it's only for a few moments for their iconic photo. The water is also known to have healing properties, so it can help smooth your nerves. The black mud is also helpful for closing pores and rejuvenating your skin. After a long day of relaxing in the Dead Sea, travelers can hike the bluffs around the Dead Sea and can also hike all the way up to the ruins of Masada, where they're able to overlook the whole area. In northern Israel, there are many locations for visitors to see, including the Sea of Galilee, which is a backdrop of many historical and religious events. It's also a great pilgrimage site for tourists, as they're known to head there, as it was one of the focal points for Jesus growing up. Stunning shores, you're also able to go camping, cycling, or hike one of the many trails. It's a beautiful place to stop and look at nature as well, as it's one of the only inland freshwater seas. Bird watching in the Hulu Valley is another great attraction for the area. There's over 400 different bird species that are there and make their home there all year round. But on the migratory periods, you have the chance of seeing like 500,000 birds, which is an amazing experience. In 2009, the BBC Nature magazine named the Hulu Valley one of the top bird watching places in the world. Nazareth is also in northern Israel, so this is where Mary had experienced the inoculation of Jesus and was later his childhood home. So it's a very popular site with religious travelers. The walled city of Acco is it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was a popular stop for Marco Polo on his way to China. It's a walled city from the Ottoman Empire that still has its ramparts intact, and visitors are able to walk on these today and imagine what life would have been like back in the Ottoman Empire. The wineries in the region have been existing for over 2,000 years. So there's currently 25 commercial wineries and over 150 boutique wineries in Israel. So since the country is a long country, it has a very unique taste, like other long countries like Chile. As we all know, Chilean wines are very popular and have a very different taste, and Israeli wines are supposed to be very similar to that. The Baha holy sites of Haifa and Acco are also UNESCO World Heritage Sites and are located in this area. They're resting places for the faith's founding fathers and represent the first World Heritage Sites connected with a religious tradition born in the modern times. Next, we'll talk about the benefits of group travel and some of the tours already available. So this picture is actually from one of my classmates, Nikki, who traveled to Israel on a mission trip. So she traveled as part of a group and said that it was an amazing trip, and she still has a lot of these friendships today. So many companies offer tours to Israel right now, including Go Away Travel, Contiki, Globus Journeys, GA Adventures, and many more. So the least expensive tour I was able to find was $643. It was a 4-day tour of cosmopolitan Tel Aviv through Go Away Travel. And then the most expensive tour I was able to find was one that was $5,399 and was a 22-day adventure through Egypt, Jordan, and Israel, led by GA Adventures. The median tour is 8 days long with an average price of $2,915.76. So next I'll talk about some of the benefits of traveling as a group. So like I mentioned, you make friendships that can last you for your whole lifetime. And it's also really great to have new friendships while you're there. Group travel also allows visitors to be connected with somebody who's familiar with the country and the customs of the local people. I recently traveled to Mexico and stayed with a host family, and it was great having that local connection as they're able to tell me where to go, where not to go, and inform me of any local customs, which is also what guides are able to do for travelers in Israel. It also helps travelers feel more safe, as it allows them to know that the guide won't take them anywhere that's dangerous. And it also lets them relax knowing that there's no hidden fees coming up at the end of their trip. So getting around Israel, so it's very easy for travelers to get around. There's bus, trains, and taxis available for public transport. You're also able to bike or cycle. There's many bike rental companies available in the cities. Car rental companies are also available for travelers wanting a little more freedom. And a full list of parking lots and gas stations are available on the Israel Tourism website. So this concludes my presentation. I'd like to thank you again for attending and open the floor to any questions.
Thank you so much, Julie. So of course, we'll open it up now for people to submit any questions that they may have, and you can submit those to either the chat box or the Q&A box. And if anyone here in the room with me has a question, I will put them on the line.
Hi, Julie. I'm working here with Dan. Is there any place in Israel that you thought stood out as being particularly interesting?
That's a good question. I didn't know too much about Israel before starting, so after researching this, I think Eilat and the Negev are really interesting to me because they have a lot of adventures that you can go on. They're also more of a they're also really close to historic places and provide a lot of activities. So those would be my two recommendations.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome.
And Julie, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when preparing for this webinar presentation?
The biggest challenge I faced, so research was easy, but getting my research trimmed down to the appropriate time and making sure I wasn't overloading my slides was really difficult.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Then we'll just allow another 30 seconds to a minute for people to submit any questions that they may have. Okay, I do believe that's it for the questions, but I would like to thank everyone that tuned into the webinar today. Thank you all for taking time out of your day. And Julie, thank you so much for your great presentation.
Thank you, David.
And on behalf of Baxter Media, I would like to thank everyone that tuned in. And Julie, we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for participating in BSAP 2019.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.